Okay, we're back. Let's talk to Godric. Riding ponies, playing with Sheridan. Do you know the village I came from? What was the king like back then? What Sheridan got to do with it? I think we're gonna pick that one. The prince? Nothing. Everything. I mean, you were both raised in the castle. You're both squires. You're both pledged to train with Aberkin. But he's the prince, and I'm an orphan. Don't forget that. You know, you're now not the only one who ever brings that up. Sorry, you're the only one who ever brings that up. Nobody else cares that you're an orphan. Nobody. As for the rest of it, you and Sheridan have a lot in common. It's only natural for people to watch and make comparisons. Well, I don't want to be compared to him, all right? Look, relax. Superior Sheridan, Mr. Wonderful. He's got nothing to do with me, understand? Yeah, got it. I'll have to come back. Don't forget! I said I wouldn't, Godric. Let's see if we can get some other dialogue from him. Here we go. We could ask him for a potion of healing. Maybe I should come back later. Let's ask him for a potion of healing. A potion? Why didn't you say so? I'm pretty good at lighting things on fire. I can whip you up some tincture of paradise. And I just finished one that makes a puff of purple smoke that smells like tulips. I'll see if I can find my notes for that last one. As you can see, the lab's a bit disorganized today. Tell you what, okay if it explodes? Does a potion have to explode? You want it to work, don't you? You know, I just remembered something. The king is waiting for me. Yes, but I don't think I want to try anything experimental. Maybe I should try one of the other magicians. We'll go with that one. Oh, sure. Like who? I hear Gachina is powerful. There's always Bowden. What do you think of Rita? Man, I wonder if Gachina and Bowden originally were going to be characters that could come with you in the game. That's quite a thought. That kind of makes a lot more sense too, because they play it up here like it's this big deal, like, oh, you can only choose two. Who are your two characters? But it would have been really cool if Gachina came with you and she was a healer, and then Bowden could have came with you and he would have been more like an elemental mage, whereas Rita is a namer. Anyway, yeah, we'll say Gachina is powerful. You believe that Mamarari stuff? No schools, all magic existing from the dawn of time in one unified ever-flowing plane? Because she's been studying that path for hundreds of years. Hundreds? Okay, thousands. She's older than some of the scribes around here. But it's always the path, the path, the path, and that's all you'll ever hear out of her. I'm talking about something new, y'all, youngin', something exciting, something you never tried before. I got the notes right here, most of them anyway, so what do you say? I'll have to come back. Don't forget! I said I wouldn't, Godric. Crazy old coot. Alright. Well, the lock of this is definitely beyond the ability of Rita to pick. Why is Rita our lock picker? Is she in the front? No. Does Rita have a lock pick ability? How do you swap? Here we go. She doesn't even have a lock pick ability. Yeah, let's take a look at Rita's stats here. We'll compare them to ours. She starts out with a staff and leather armor. Not that exciting, but not really that much more impressive than our own, or less impressive, I should say. Smarter than us, with more willpower, way more dexterity, more endurance, slightly less strength, well, 33% less strength, 1 point more of stamina. Arguably, she's just a better character. Total EXP, here we go. Here's a good baseline to use to measure the strength of a character. Our total EXP is 4,000. Hers is 7,000, so she's like 3,000 above us. She starts out with Lore Master, which I believe is used to identify... No, there is identification in this game. Yeah, you have to have Lore Master to identify things. Merchant, which is just useful for selling things. Wizard, which we've already gone over, and then Pole and Sword. It's interesting. Very interesting that she's trained at 3 in Sword. Curious, I would say, even. She does come with a couple spells here. Endurance just gives people extra HP. It's a pretty crappy spell, honestly. Even at level 10, you're giving... Well, I shouldn't even say that. It's not a crappy spell. It's just not an overwhelming spell. You're not going to cast Endurance and suddenly change the tides of combat. Essentially, you can almost think of it as a healing spell right now. It grants everyone 8 extra HP. And at level 10, I guess it gives everyone 20 extra HP. That's not nothing, but it's just... It's probably not going to be your big go-to spell. Verse, Necromancy, the verse spells are... Think about old D&D where you had save verse breath, save verse wand, that kind of stuff. So verse Necromancy just increases your save verse Necromancy spells, which I think is super cool flavor-wise because it's a neutral spell. You can tell because it doesn't have that purple circle. You see over there next to the spell name, it's got no symbol. That means it's neutral. It means that any wizard can learn it. She has been studying a lot lately to fix Neeson's problem with the whole him never dying, and so you can kind of see that, like, this is part of her recent study, and she's not very good at it because she hasn't been able to find the cure, so she's only level 1. Weakness is just a standard naming spell. It's the opposite of Endurance, so essentially she can give your party 8 extra HP and lower every enemy's max HP by 8. Since Aura, I don't even know if that's useful. Like, I don't think I've ever really even used it. Looks like it just gets you the stats on an enemy. Yeah, so Rita's ahead of us as far as raw stats based on EXP. I don't know why Rita's the one being chosen to unlock things, though. Both of us equally suck at it. Are those herbs? Can we take those? We cannot. That's fine. Looks like there's some spice here that we probably can't take. We're looking for Trahern's sword, which Bowden stashed away in Godric's storage down here. He gave us the key, so we shouldn't need... Okay, so 32 gold and some spice. He gave us the key, so we shouldn't need to pick the lock. Ah, here we go. Trahern's sword. We should give it to Rita. That would be funny. What's the stats on it? Okay, so currently we've got a short sword with 10, 40, and 2. Oh, Trahern. 15 minimum strength, so Rita can't use it, but we can. 55, so 15 more to hit, and an extra point of damage. We are giving this... We are giving this to, oh my goodness, as soon as I figure out how to change the character. Definitely giving this to Alaron. We also found a dagger at some point. Very weak, but requires very little strength to use. Started out with that club. It's interesting. So we could go with the heavier shield. I'm a little hit or miss on whether I want Alaron with a shield. I kind of like him with a small shield, and this is something I love about the balance of this game. Each upgrade of the normal shields subtracts yet another point of dexterity from you. I don't think I want Alaron with a large shield, even though it does increase our defense. You can see there because it's green. We go from 4 and 3 to 5 and 4, so 1 point extra on both fronts. We lose another point of dexterity. I don't like that. In fact, I don't really like the fact that we've lost dexterity with the shield at all. And since we're going to have Alaron join the party, or not Alaron, Abragan join the party, I'm going to unequip his shield so he can make the full use of his dexterity. Oh, and sillily... Sillily? Is that a word? Wait, why do we still have -1? I thought... So first thing I thought Kendall's hat was lowering our dex, but something else is. Oh, the leather armor is. We get 2 and 0. What happens if we remove the armor? Let's do some min-maxing here. Okay, I don't know what the the difference between protection and defense is one of them decreases the amount of damage you take, and one of them decreases the enemy's chance to hit you. If I had to guess, I'd say protection decreases enemies' chance to hit you, and defense decreases the damage they deal. So we could wear the small shield and get a -2, but we get a total of 5 bonus points. So we're spending 2 for 5. Large shield is spending 3 for 7. And assuming, of course, that we value protection and defense equally, which I'm not sure if we do, but I don't really know how to value them in general. So I'm just going to go with base stats that we're getting. Let me pull up a calendar here. Or calculator. So we're getting 2 for 1. Oh, I don't need a calculator for that one. So the efficiency of the leather armor is 50%. Because you're taking 2 divided by 1, right? And then the large shield is 7 divided by 3. Which gets us 2.3. Wait, are we doing this math right? Hold on. Let me think of how to do the math correctly. Yeah, I think we're doing it correct, because we're just taking the points divided by the cost. So per point, so 2 divided by 1 is 2. Okay, so even though I said 50, the efficiency of this is 2, because we're getting 2 for 1. The efficiency of this is 2.3 for 1. And the efficiency of the small shield, which is 5 divided by 2, let me get that, is 2.5. So if we're going off just the raw numbers, the small shield makes the most sense to equip if we're only equipping one of these. So we'll go ahead and have Alaron go in without any armor, but he'll wear the shield, which only lowers his dex by 2. Still more than I want, but eh. And then Rita has a staff with a... Well, the stats on that aren't terrible. Look at that, 8, 45, and 2. What was our short sword? So the first stat, minimum strength, is you actually want that lower. So the staff is better. It has a higher base hit. So the staff, in general, is just better than the short sword. That's interesting. She has the leather armor equipped. Does she have the shield ability? She does not, so she can't equip shields. Otherwise, I'd give her the small shield. Okay. I know she can learn it. There's no reason to have the dagger unless... Yeah, the dagger has a really low base hit. That's questionable. I would assume that the dagger would have a very high base hit. Strangely, it doesn't. It has worse than the short sword. Okay, well. And then, of course, Trahern's sword on Alaron makes the most sense. I think what we do is we go back up and give it back to Trahern, but he just hands it right back to us. Random guard down here. There is no higher calling than to stand guard for your king. Leastways, that's how I see it. Meanwhile, we'll just go ahead and loot this place right in front of this guard. Oh, 2 lonks, apparently. Oh, right. Okay, here's another portal. Believe it or not, this is not the portal to the location that we were seeing in Oizen Forest. This is a totally different portal. You know, in the basement of the Castle of Guernia, amidst this questionable chasm-like room. Okay. Alaron, go up the ladder. But okay, so there's a couple chests down here we might want to come back for. A single beast hide and 50 gold. Is there anything in here? Probably not. You can kind of tell when you can interact with a barrel because it has a slightly different color to it. I think that's because it's a model. Because when you open the barrels, the tops come off. Well, at any rate, as interesting as Godric is, we're not going to take him. We're going to go with Aberkin, and then, of course, Rita will join. I think that's it for the castle. Oh, well, of course, we still need to go give Trahern's sword to him. Other than that, though, I think that's it for the castle. Took us quite a lot of time to get here. And the first time you do this castle, it's so easy to get lost in. I mean, we were already kind of getting lost. I think Trahern is this way. Maybe? Thought there was a door. That a door? No. There must be two different barracks. Because one of the barracks has a door. What's this? The waiting room? Here we go. Training room. This is what we want. Is this the sword you were looking for? Outstanding. Good work, squire. Thank you, Trahern. Whoop. I skipped that. It served me well, and now it can serve you. Take it on your quest. Thank you, Trahern. I don't know what to say. Just succeed. Come back to us, healed and healthy now, you hear? Are you ready to equip your group? No, not yet. I'll be back when I am. Okay. Let's go pick up Aberkin, and then we will set out on our adventure. How exciting. It only took us... I didn't check the time of the other episode. It only took us like 3 hours, I'm betting. From start of the game to now. To get out of the prologue. I mean, by Square Enix standards, that's quick, right? Oh! Final Fantasy... Oh gosh. 13. I feel like anytime you mention any Final Fantasy ever, you open up a doorway to either get dumped on by fanboys or people might agree with you. So I know I'm opening up a can of worms here, but I enjoyed Final Fantasy 13. I still need to finish it. But good grief, it took like 15 hours to get out of the beginning of the game. I don't think that's an exaggeration. It took so long. Oh my goodness. Where's Aberkin? He's in the throne room. We need to go back down this way. I still need to go back and finish 13. I still need to go back and finish a lot of the Final Fantasies, actually. Sans 8 and 9. I'll pass on those. Okay, the throne room's got to be around here somewhere, right? Oh, we never found Alaron's room, did we? His room was the one with the dragon in it. I thought. Maybe we did find Alaron's room. You have anything important to say? No. I thought maybe there'd be something in these bookshelves. No. Here we go. I think Aberkin's over here. No, this is the kitchen. What? Where are we? Wasn't... Wait a minute! Why are the clouds in that painting moving? How have I never noticed this? I'm not crazy, right? Those clouds are moving, right? That's hilarious. That must be some very poor attempt at being like, look, the wizards enchanted it. That's kind of cute, actually. Okay, I don't know if we've gone down this way. The map says we have. Oh, there's Aberkin. Hey, buddy.
Alaron? Have you formed your group?
Believe it or not, sir, I really don't know who to take.
Squire, a knight does not falter over a decision. Make up your mind and begin on your quest.
Well, what about you? Are you still willing to go?
As long as Phelan is king, I must agree to this quest. Should I prepare to leave?
Yes. If I take anyone with me, I'd like it to be you.
I'll be in the training room before you choose your equipment.
Will you? No, you won't. You're on our team. He's literally right here. Okay, so we can check Aberkin's EXP, and you can easily see why he's so valuable early on. You know, we've got Rita has 7,000, we've got 4,000. He has 102,000. A little bit of a difference there of about, 93,000 between him and Rita. Yeah, Aberkin is very well built right now. He has he has 10 points extra in stamina, a lot of points in endurance, high dexterity to offset the fact that he wears heavy armor, no intelligence or willpower because he doesn't need it, he can't cast spells, so why bother wasting the EXP. His warrior skill is a little low. I'm going to assume that's because he's out of practice. He probably spends a lot more time in the castle these days. It's interesting that he has a point in stealth, yet his armor offsets it, so it's not even usable. His sword is only slightly better than yours, and he's practiced in throne and shield. Other than that, there's not a lot to say about Aberkin, other than he starts out with some pretty decent gear. He's got a broadsword, which is just the equivalent of the short sword with an extra damage point tacked on. The Aidyn scale, very high defense, very big penalty to stealth and dexterity, as well as the kite shield, which is a beautiful shield, as long as you don't care about the fact that it is eating hard into your dexterity stat at a -4. But it gives you 9 and 5 on the protection. Kite shield is very good. It's very hard for early enemies to penetrate Aberkin's defenses at all. And when they do, he just laughs because his HP is so high. Okay. Now that we've got Aberkin, Brenna and Godric will despawn and no longer be approachable, which is fine. I don't know if Traherne will not equip you. Wait, who are you? Can't I travel in peace? Clear the path! Is there anything you can tell me about this village? No! Why is there this random guy in here? He's just really rude. There's nothing even in this room. Okay, I was trying to get back the way we came. Because I wanted to go... Right, you don't say anything important, do you? Oh my gosh, wait. Oh no! He totally did have unique dialogue and I just zoomed right through it. Oh man. Well, whatever that was, I'm sure it was hilarious. Okay. Here's where I wanted to be. I wanted to see what would happen if we go up. We've been here? Yes, okay. This just goes out into the ramparts, into the king's chambers, or presumably the king's chambers. We just had to find our way out. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Traherne and have him outfit the party. I don't know if he won't do it if you leave the party, because obviously we're gonna get Brenna, and I don't know if we should come back when we have Brenna. But I'm afraid that if we leave, it will like undo whatever trigger he has to outfit the party, and then we'll miss out on everyone's gear. Oh my goodness, where am I? Okay, let's do this intelligently. This is Prince Sheridan's room. Prince Sheridan is gone for some reason. This is where the throne room is, so shouldn't we go backwards? Backwards through here. Okay, I think maybe we found our way out. Excellent. Now, Traherne is... oh gosh. This way? I think he's behind this door. Or, well, not right behind, but yeah, here we go. We'll just ask him to outfit the party.
Now, I'm sure I can find something suitable for your party members. Pardon the pun.
Wait, why is that a pun? That's not even a pun.
Ah, for Abrakin, I've set aside a special shield, one that befits the captain of the guard.
Thank you, Weapon Master. I'm sure Abrakin will put it to good use.
Now, boy, I wasn't finished. For Rita, I've chosen a staff.
I believe she has some training in the staff, sir.
Yes, that she does. Gachina has also included some potions of healing. Be sure to use them wisely.
I hope you'll thank her for me.
Naturally. Now on your way and good luck.
What? Nothing for me, sir? Alright. Let's see. So that shield we got... did he give us a javelin? I don't remember having a javelin before. What shield did he give us? I think he gave us a large shield, which is hilarious because... oh my gosh, he did. He gave us a large shield, even though Abrakin already has a kite shield, which is better. That should have been opposite. He should have started out with a large shield and they gave him a kite shield. That's hilarious. And then he gave Rita a staff, but Rita already has a staff. And I'm also certain he just gave us a javelin. I don't think we had this before. Javelins are interesting. They're an sort of another way to fight from a distance with the, I believe it's the throne stat. Yeah, the throne skill. Which, does anyone even have throne? Alaron doesn't. Oh, he does. He has 1 point in throne. So does Abrakin, but we don't want Abrakin fighting from a distance, so... oh, that begs the question. Hang on. Do we want Alaron to use the javelin? What's the stats here? Minimum strength of 14, so we're good. Base hit is 4 less than our current... damage is 4? And we fight from a distance? Guys, I'm not seeing a disadvantage here. In fact, I think we throw off our shield. I think we just ditch the shield, that, you know, the one we spent all that time calculating the stats on. I think we just go javelin. Yeah, we have a slightly less chance to hit. Well, more than that, actually, isn't it? Because our throne stat is only 1, whereas our sword would be 3. Maybe we can train up our throne stat. But yeah, I think, especially early on, Alaron's kind of a wimp early on, and I think it would be better to just have him fight from a distance. He gets a higher base damage bonus here as well, so I don't really see... he'll hit less often. But because he's not wearing the shield, he'll get more turns per combat. His dexterity will be higher. Now check this out. You see how our HP is low? We're losing stamina. Maybe this is something I'm forgetting about. Never mind. That was something else. I thought the longer you walked around, the more stamina you lose, but Abrakin and Rita both don't have any missing stamina, so maybe I just made that up. We'll have to keep an eye out for it, though. Well, we're off. Let's save the game before something crazy happens. And 3.5 hours. Now all we have to do is find the exit to the castle, which I think is over here. I hope. Okay. Oops. Let me just set something up real quick. Perfect. So we are ready. Yep, and here's Brenna. Alaron? Brenna, what are you doing here? I think we have to tell her... So, it's kind of cheesy, but we want to manipulate the dialogue here so that she gets angry and gives us the things that she's stolen. We'll tell her to go back. Go quickly before anyone realizes you've gone. Oh, I'm sure they know I'm gone by now. But if you insist, I'll go back. Well, the castle guards might never catch me, and who knows? I might enjoy being a fugitive. You're impossible to argue with, Brenna. I give up. Welcome to the group. Oh no! That didn't work! Shoot. Okay, hang on. We did just make a save so we can fix this. Yeah. Okay, good. It's like, how far back did we save? Not that far. What are you doing here? I guess we have to tell her, did I forget something? Alaron, please. Don't leave me behind. Take me with you. I can't. It's too dangerous. You're a good thief. But I have all the companions I need. We'll say it's too dangerous. If you think I'm good, then you should take me along. Look, I brought this axe. Don't look at me that way. You know Traherne meant to give it to you. I hope you thanked him for me. And this armor. And your next encounter with the goblins, I'd like you to be a little better dressed. Alright, give it to me. And you see how resourceful I am, Alaron? You'll find this quest much easier with me in the group. You're impossible to argue with, Brenna. I give up. Welcome to the group. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of funny that, she liberated this gear from Traherne and, says, oh, well, you know, he was gonna give it to you anyway. Okay, the battle axe is pretty cool, actually. It's got a crazy high base hit and moderate damage. I think, in general, the most you're gonna get out of a weapon as far as its damage stat is 5. And that will fluctuate depending on the weapon itself. It's not the best thing in... I don't know how to put it. It's almost like the damage stat is nice, but the base hit is almost more important, because if you're not hitting your enemy, then you're not getting any bonus out of the damage. But, yeah, that base hit of 65 is crazy high compared to the 40s we were seeing on other weapons. It does require the hafted skill. That's axes and clubs. She also gave us scale armor, which is much better than the leather. Leather providing 2, scale armor providing 4. However, it tanks your dex. So I don't know if we're going to use it. I mean, it just depends on how you want to play, right? Like, my first couple of playthroughs through the game, heck yeah, I'm going to wear that scale armor. I don't care how many times I attack. I just want to never get hit. But we're kind of going a little more flighty, lightweight, aggressive style. So, we'll see how far it takes us. So since Alaron isn't using Traherne's sword, let's see if it's better than what Abraken's using. Abraken, I believe, is using a broadsword at what, 40 and 3, right? 40 to hit, 3 damage. Yeah. Traherne is 55 with 3. That's way better. We'll give Abraken Traherne's sword. We could... No, we can't give him the axe. He doesn't have the hafted skill. What does Brenna have? Let's take a look at Brenna's stats here. Woo! Woo! Brenna has a lower EXP than even Alaron at a measly 500. That's the equivalent of 2 rats. She also has, comparatively, wow, low intelligence, low willpower, very high dexterity, low endurance, low strength, low stamina. The only claim to fame she has is that 22 dex. So, be very careful with Brenna early. She dies very fast. Of course, we do have the mechanic skill, the stealth skill, and the thief skill, which is useful. We'll want to level up that mechanic skill pretty quickly. And in fact, that's probably what she's going to be in the party early on, is she's just going to be our mechanic bot. She's not really... We do not want her fighting anything. Except maybe if we know she can finish something off. What does she have equipped? Oof, dagger. Awful. But she has to equip that dagger because her strength is only 8. The dagger's mid strength is 7. And that leather armor. Is that armor even worth it? Probably. Probably. Her defenses are so bad, she needs all the help she can get. In fact, we might even put her in the scale mail. As odd as that sounds. I think we do that. We'll put her in the scale. Does she have the shield ability? No. She can throw things, though. We could give her that javelin. Now there's a thought. We could give her the javelin and swap Alaron over to the battle axe. No, I want the javelin. We're going to have the javelin. Brenna is going to be armored up with the scale mail. And we'll find someone to teach her the shield skill if she can learn it. I don't remember if she can or not. And she will be our backstabby kind of gal. In fact, I'm going to remove Kendall's bloody hat from Alaron and give it to Brenna just so she gets that extra point of protection. Because she's going to need it if she gets anywhere close to the enemy. Okay. I'm going to give the Namer's Ring to Rita for obvious reasons. She can use it as a spell battery. Rita's probably fine with her leather armor. She's got enough stamina that if she gets... Oh no, she doesn't. She just has 31. Still though, she has 50 HP compared to 31 from Brenna. I think Rita's gonna be fine if she gets into melee combat. Okay. Now, interestingly, you have to take Brenna with you in this game. It's not possible to leave the castle without Brenna, and in fact, to make things even more awkward, she can never leave your party. The only way to get rid of her is to kill her. Or rather, let her die in combat. Now, hang on. Rita's using a staff, right? What's her sword trained at? Her sword is trained at 3. Staff is 845 and 2. Okay, I know we're going to take a 5-point penalty in the ability to hit. But, oh, wait, what? Oh, she's not strong enough to wield this broadsword. Darn it, I thought that was going to be really funny to have Rita equipped with a sword. I still kind of want to do it, even though it's technically statistically worse than the staff. I kind of want to just give her a sword. Mostly because I think it's funny. Oh, but if she uses... No. We want to give her the staff because of this really weird mechanic. So, when Rita attacks with a staff, her animation is so goofy. She, like, swings it forward, her whole body ducks down, and then she stumbles and takes a step backwards, which is actually mechanically relevant because it means she disengages from the enemy when she attacks. It's a really weird thing that only Rita can do. Or at least I think only Rita can do it. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever tried to give anyone else a staff in the game. Maybe other characters can do it. I don't know. It confuses me they gave the staff a higher base chance to hit compared to the short sword. I feel like that really should have been swapped. Especially considering the short sword, I think, has a higher strength requirement. Take a long look. Look at that beautiful draw distance. Araman isn't far. But we may not see Gwernia again for a long time. We've looked enough. I like Gwernia, but I love adventure. I hope you won't mind if we stop for herbs. Not at all. There may be something to help end that curse. I wonder if we'll meet any other travelers along the way. I think we will. Well, whatever happens, I'll miss the castle, but I think we're ready. So, on to Araman! I don't know how much longer I can do Aberkin's voice. Okay, so I said we were going to explore the village after we got our party. And we have our party. So, let's take a snooze here to make it daytime, I think. Right? Party cannot camp here. Fine, fine. Well, we'll just go around the village anyway. So, interestingly, in the village of Gwernia, there is, I think I mentioned this already, there is a trainer for everything. Except for spells. There's no trainer for spells. We'll get a map here. I think this just fills in the map over here. Yeah. You can see now the whole piece of Araman is filled in. I thought we just come in here to some random person's loft and steal their map. Ooh, Beckon's journal. Wait a minute, Beckon. Beckon was that guy who, wasn't he the guy who saved King Ramsay and then retired immediately? So, spring, summer, fall, and winter. I write this in the springtime, following the Battle of Lonely Mountain. They say I saved His Majesty, and maybe I did. But at what cost? In what coin did I pay that debt? Oh, so maybe that's why there was the map to Araman found in the loft here, because Beckon went to Araman when he retired. Armor. I wear it to protect myself against the enemy's blows. Yet what will I wear to armor myself against mine own thoughts? Brown turns the leaves in this dismal season. Look at me. For pity's sake, I sound like some mincing minstrel, overreaching for a rhyme or a reason. It is done. Even my sword now grows rusty. I dishonor my compatriots. I must find solace in the mountains. Perhaps their echo will fill my heart once again. I will go to Araman. So there is reference to Beckon. Beckon apparently ran a... What is that, a farrier? I think that's what you call it. Guy who puts horses on shoes, shoes on horses. I don't know why he's so upset with himself, though. Does he blame himself for the people who died? Hello, sir. A moment of your time? How do you do, sir? Is there anything you can tell me about the village? I like it. You'll probably like it, too. Thank you very much. No period. It's just, why would someone say that to Alaron? And why would Alaron, like, ask that question to a townsperson in the town that he basically grew up in? It says that everyone knows who he is, so I don't understand. Oh, what happened here? Oh, we left. Huh. Okay. Guess that's not really a useful building. Hello, ma'am. Oh, wait a minute. You know how I said that that lady was in a dress from Terminor? This lady's wearing the exact same dress. Could I ask you a question? Hello to you, squire. Can I help you in some way? Is there anything you can tell me about the village? We have shops and inns if you keep your eyes open, and I'm sure you'll find everything you need. Have a good day, ma'am. The townspeople don't really say anything very useful. I should probably stop talking to him. But some of them just have so many weird things to say that I feel like I have to keep talking. Like the guy who just yelled at us for coming into his room for no reason. Funnily enough, I'm not seeing any trainers. I remember there being a lot more trainers in this village. Maybe we just haven't found them yet. We already went in here, right? Yeah. Wait, what? Oh. Whoa! Curing potion. Curing potions are a lot better than healing potions. Inferno flask, stealth potion. Stealth potions will probably never be used. Ever. In the history of the game, did I ever think, you know what I need? A stealth potion. The whole stealth concept really only comes into play in a couple parts of the game, and even then it's not very mandatory. Like, essentially you'll find a couple monsters that are, I wouldn't call them super powered, but you can find monsters in Aidyn Chronicles that are well beyond your league. And you might have a good reason to want to sneak past them, but it's so few and far between. It is nice, though, to have the option. I think the first time I played the game, I used stealth a lot. Mostly because I didn't know where I was or what I needed to do. And so I oftentimes found myself wandering around in places that I probably shouldn't have been in. And then I guess I had to stealth through a lot of enemies then. But in general, an experienced player isn't even a moderately experienced player. Like, I wouldn't consider myself a hyper experienced player in Aidyn Chronicles. I'd consider myself moderately experienced. And even for a moderately experienced player, you're probably never going to need to stealth through things. Hello, ma'am. Could I ask you a question? Hello, squire. Is there anything you can tell me about the village? Facts? I'm sorry, I don't know any. If I did, I'd introduce you. Introduce us to the facts? You can't handle the facts. So it seems to be a house with a lantern on it. Well, what brings castle folk to my inn? Are you hungry, thirsty, weary from the road? If so, you've come to the right place. Would you like a meal and a room? We could take a room. What can you tell us about the town? We can say he looks troubled. He does kind of look troubled. Trouble? In this establishment? Ridiculous. Nothing could be further from the truth. Why, you won't find a better resting place in this kingdom, not even in the castle itself. Now, whoever's been spreading that silly gossip about my cellar is, well, obviously just a no-good tongue wagger, eager to mislead strangers. I've got nothing to hide here. What's wrong with the cellar? It's nothing, a trifle. You have no need to be afraid or find another inn. Those bats never come upstairs. Never interferes with the guests, at least not very much. So, bats, I won't be saying after all. Let's see. Let's say we suppose we get rid of those bats for you. Would you? They frightened half my customers away. You see, the cellar adjoins to the caves just beyond here. There must be a hole in one of the walls. A small hole, but large enough for those treacherous bats to slip through. I can't prevent it. Certainly not without going into the caves myself, and I'm certainly not going into the caves myself. Certainly not. Don't worry, sir. I'll be glad to help. You do, and I'll make it worth your while. Cedric's not one to overlook a kindness, squire. Then I'd better go start right away. The bats keep coming back, though, almost as if someone had trained them. So we'll go into this guy's cellar and see what he has to say. See what his bat problems are. So now finally we have a full party. And you can see, remember, Abrakin has quite a bit of dex, even though his armor penalizes him a bit for it. You see his circle is much larger than Alaron's was. This is probably going to be, yeah, I was going to say, no problem for Abrakin. Alright. Well, yeah, that was indeed a bat. And here's that crack in the wall he was talking about. Going through the crack immediately engages us with a goblin. Oh shoot, I should have maneuvered Abrakin to be more behind the goblin. Oh well. Very little chance of Abrakin actually taking any damage here. Okay, so here's this thing I was telling you about with Rita. Now watch how she fights. She swings, and then there, she takes 2 steps back. The next time her turn comes around, she won't be in melee range. And so she'll have free movement.
Goblins tend to be a bit defensive, I suppose. We'll have Brenna sneak around behind them and land a hit here. As well as Rita. Okay, we want to be really careful, though. We really don't want this goblin engaging Rita. Or Brenna. So even though we could make an attack here, I don't think we want to. She really wants to only be in, like, when the enemy is already weakened. So we're gonna pass her turn. There we go. Nice. So long as you can get the enemies focused on Abrakin, you shouldn't have too much trouble. Ooh, an Aidyn scale. I might give that to Brenna. Good grief, that's the armor that Abrakin has. I'm just gonna weigh her down a lot, but again, I just don't care. Her dexterity is nice and everything, but she can't take advantage of it. Wait, what does she currently have? Scale mail? The Aidyn scale weighs you down less and gives you more armor? Heck yeah, Brenna. Take that stuff. I mean, I don't care that your stealth mechanic is completely broken now at -3, but whatever. Alright. So yeah, Cedric wasn't wrong. That goblin had been training the bats to sneak in through the crack in the wall for some reason. Heaven knows what the goblin was hoping to accomplish with that. I don't think there's anything else in here. Oh, I have to hit the A button. And we find ourselves on some kind of cliff ledge on the outskirts of the inn. I don't remember which building it was, so I'm gonna go back around. Here we go. Seems like there's always some innkeeper in games that you have to help, huh? Back already? How did it go? Let's see. We could say you might want to fix the crack in your cellar, but I think we'll just say your troubles are over. Splendid! That's wonderful. Here, there was a reward, you know. 100 gold. Oh, we don't need. Say no more. You'll accept the reward happily. After all, I get a 10% commission. Wait, how does he get a 10% commission on giving you the reward? What? Well, in that case, thank you. We do like a room. By all means, squire. So we can rest here. So it looks like he'll let us rest here for a lower price. You can barely move the camera into these rooms to see inside of them. Reminds me of the hotels in Japan that are just like a little box that you open up and you can just shimmy your way into and sleep in it. I think we've already talked to her. I guess that's it for this place. Now, why did I think that there were trainers in this place? I'm not wrong, am I? I thought there were totally trainers for every skill you could ever want. I must be missing them. I feel like we're running out of places to check. This is a nice view. This is actually a good view of the castle. Okay, I guess this is an empty house. Oh shoot, you know, some trainers only appear during the night and some only appear during the day. I hope we're not missing them because of that. Because these are some empty rooms. Was that a well? What is that? Hello, sir. A moment of your time? Do you mean me? Is there anything you can tell me about the village? Stay on the path. That's my advice. Thank you. Thank you for that random bit of information. Stay on the path. What on earth would that even mean? Not even really a path in this village. Okay, so there's that ladder that leads to the cavern that we found the goblin in. Nice little hill with a tree up here. So a big reason I said I didn't mind how slow Alaron walks is because it really sells the vastness of the size of the environments that you find yourself in. I think if Alaron moved quicker, it would make the locations feel smaller. Are you open for business, sir? We're open. Why else would I be here? What should I know about the town? Are you the squire that everyone's been searching for? Do you wish to buy something or train something? Yes, here we go. We can train our skills. Alright, because these are the big ones. Yeah. Like, literally, right here, this is all you would ever need. That's why I thought there was a guy who trains every skill. Because there's a guy who trains every skill. So, again, Alaron can learn everything, so I'm kind of inclined to just teach him level 1 of everything, just because... Oh, wow, that's a lot of EXP. He already knows healer, at least. We definitely want 1 point in thief. We'll take thief. We already have wizard, half-dead, missile. We don't have pole. I don't see us using a lot of pole, though. We already have shield, throne, sword. I guess pole's the only one we're missing. It's pretty cheap. We'll go ahead and put that in there. That leaves alchemist. Diplomat is questionable. Whoop. Diplomat is probably the worst skill in the game. From what I can tell, it changes what NPCs tell you. So that guy who was like, stay on the path, he'll technically say something different if you have a high diplomat skill. It's a pretty worthless... Gosh darn it, I keep cutting out my mic, sorry. It's a pretty worthless skill. It just... Yeah, I also think it's a skill that only applies for Alaron. Like, I think if other players get it, it doesn't work. Either that or it's only useful, like... Yeah, I don't remember how it works. I just remember it's really goofy and it's not very good. We'll go ahead and take 1 point in alchemy because alchemy is amazing. And we don't need mechanic because Brenna's got mechanic. I guess we'll take merchant. Merchant seems questionable. Rita's already got merchant. What am I talking about? We're going to take 1 point in everything regardless. We'll just take what we can, and then if we can't, we'll come back here later. Yeah. Okay, let's see what the other characters can do. Now, big limitation is a lot of other characters can't learn these things. Oh, and right, Brenna has like no EXP, so she's not going to be able to learn anything anyway. Aberkin can't learn Alchemist, and he doesn't really have any loose EXP to spend on any of this, so we're not really interested. Neither does Rita. I guess we'll have to come back here later for the other characters. But yeah, I really don't like this. I don't like that there's this guy who just teaches you everything you could want to learn. Like, I think those are all the skills in the game. Oops, I didn't mean to buy something. Let's do this again. So I said there was somewhere between 10 and 15. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18. 18 skills. 18 skills in the game. The first several times I played this game, I totally missed this guy. And I really feel like it made the game a lot more fun, because I had to go out and find, like, people who would train me in things. It was really special when you found someone who was willing to train you in a skill you didn't have. But now that you can just get them all at the beginning, it's not as good. I mean, you could argue, like, well, why don't you just not use him? But that also seems lame. Are you open for business? Are you the royals? Welcome to the shop. What should I know about the town? I could train you in anything, lad, except jousting and needlework and fowl plucking and blah, blah, blah. Is this a different guy? It's a different guy. He can't train us in mechanic as high, but he can train us higher in merchant. This is also weird. There's these two guys who can, Oh, this is another thing, probably, that you'll want to know if you're new to the game. Anytime you find a trainer, make sure to push over and see if they train any spells. Guys like this guy, who isn't a wizard, won't train anything, but later on, you can potentially miss out on a lot of things to train, or spells to train, if you don't push over. Kind of interesting we can get on this guy's roof. I don't know if there's any reason to be up here. Oh, there is a treasure chest. Okay. 20 gold. 20 gold! Right down the road! Okay. Yeah, guess that's the guy. That's the guy. The training, or should I say guys. Two training dudes. We'll probably do a sweep of the outskirts of Grania, and then come back and train everyone at least level 1 in everything they can learn. That way, we aren't at the mercy of random trainers. Alright. So technically the plot goal is to go to Araman, but we're not going to go to Araman. We're going to spend a lot of time just exploring the world, because that is way more fun. We should probably also save. I wonder if the game crashes less on an emulator. That would be funny. There's no specific order that I know of to do any of this, and there's no specific treasure that I'm looking for, so I'm just gonna kind of have to wander about aimlessly and just keep an eye open for stuff. We do have to talk to Kendall, or well, we're not going to be talking to Kendall, but we need to tell Kendall's family that Kendall's dead. A lot of bats here, but this is why we came back when we had a party. Brenna should really be okay here. She is weak, but she's not that weak. How do you skip the turn? There we go. Did we kill it? No, it barely lived. That's annoying. So Rita could technically be casting her spells right now. She could be throwing out, endurance to boost our HP. She could be throwing out weakness to lower the enemy's max HP. It just really isn't worth it. Because every spell in the game, I think I mentioned this earlier, every spell in the game costs some amount of HP. Or sorry, not HP. We did mention that, but every spell you cast requires a regent. Or reagent? How do you say that? Regent or reagent? I should probably look that up. Anyway, every spell costs a component, and those components are gemstones, spices, and herbs. And there's just no need to use them. Which is another reason why I don't like the casting in this game. It kind of disincentivizes the use of spells. in a lot of fights. Like, if we could cast it for free, I'd be kind of tempted to just throw out a weakness spell. You know? It wouldn't do much, probably wouldn't even matter in this fight. Oops, skipped Aberkin's turn twice. Probably wouldn't even matter in this fight, but it would be something, right? Now, this happens a lot. So you get into these fights, and the new enemies spawn in. This is a good time to go over this, I guess. For those of you who don't know, there can only be 4 enemies in combat at any given point, but there are what is called reinforcements. The reinforcements are the tiny pictures below the enemy big pictures over there on the left, and after you kill some of the enemies, the reinforcements come in. But the reinforcements have a tendency to spawn in on the other side of the battlefield, in which case they will very frequently, this will happen, where they spawn in, they realize all their friends are dead, and then they panic and leave. And I guess we could probably just sit here and pass her. In fact, that's probably what I should be doing. I shouldn't be running after them. They're just going to run away. Alright. 450 EXP. We're on the map. Or on the board, rather. Nothing over there. I guess nothing over here either. I suppose we just came over here to fight a bat. A new journal entry has been added. I found a bizarre camp south of the castle. It filled me with a strange feeling. Oh, right, of course. So this is a bizarre camp. We don't want to open that chest yet. I don't think so, anyway. Let's save the game, because I'm pretty sure it'll kill us. There's a slightly dangerous trap. Yeah, we're not going to even try. We're going to come back later when... Sorry, okay. I'll finish that thought. We'll come back later when Brenna's mechanic skill is higher. Also, a strange camp that fills you with a slightly bizarre feeling, and there's definitely, you know, the disembodied torso of a Guarnian guard here, and some kind of corpse impaled and chained down onto a mat on the floor. And Alaron just describes it as a strange feeling. Yeah, I would say so. I hear movement. I'm trying to find out where it's coming from. Oh, we must have found it. What's this? Huh. It's one of those creatures from the dream. Okay. To give you a little bit of context, you are supposed to see these things and be like, oh, what weird creatures are these? Well, this is just a little too far out of context if you don't know what they are. These are the Jundar, I think that's what they're called. They're basically creatures of chaos, and the little one there is a scout, and this big one here is kind of like the wizard-type Jundar monster. I think they're called the Jundar. Unless the Jundar are actually the guys in Ugarit, and these things are literally just called the chaos creatures or chaos minions. I think these ones are called the minions. Regardless, they're monsters. Report. Question mark, question mark, question mark. You're certain he has found our camp? The mistress will not be pleased. We must be more careful with this boy. More careful indeed. Soon he will be hers. Yeah, so for whatever reason, the creatures of chaos have set up a camp and have been monitoring Alaron, and are not happy that, quote, the mistress will not be happy that Alaron has found their camp. The mistress is, I believe, the woman from your dream? Because they were calling her mistress in the dream. There's a treasure chest down there. How do we get down there? Oh, we just walk. That's a lot of rats. You know what? I'm gonna send Alaron or Abrakan across the map. He'll intercept the reinforcements. We'll let the B team over here take care of the little rats. Probably need to raise Alaron's hafted skill. Or, what is it called? Throne skill. This is the moment we need to decide whether Brenna can take on 3 rats or not. We're gonna go ahead and do it. Oh gosh. It's not starting out well. Where will they spawn in? They'll probably spawn in over this hill. Rat begins action. Rat gets confused and walks into a wall. Okay, we'll have Brenna focus on this one. That's much better. Nice. I suppose they are just rats. It's not like we're actually in any danger. Brenna's the only one who could potentially die here. And even then, it's unlikely. Especially because we gave her that Aidyn scale. Eden scale. Potentially, we do miss out on... Oh, one of the reinforcements fleed. They can do that sometimes. They'll flee even before entering combat. They get so scared that they don't even get a chance to fight. Okay. We're gonna be fine. I was worried that perhaps Brenna might get hurt, but the armor is just preventing all damage that she's gonna take, so it's gonna be good. You notice Rita is missing some HP, and I don't know why. I don't know where she lost it. So you remember how I said certain things cost stamina? She is the only one with the merchant skill, and I wonder, because we bought all those skills, if she was losing stamina while using the merchant skill? It's the only thing I can think of. We haven't had her cast any magic. So I don't know why she would be missing stamina. But clearly she's missing HP, and no one else is. Except for Alaron. Actually, Alaron seems like he might be missing just a smidge. I think we can check that on the menu. Abrakan's fine. Yeah, Rita's missing 14 stamina. It must have been because of her merchant skill. No, Alaron's not missing anything. No one else is missing anything. Kind of a weird thing. Oh well. We'll continue to cull the rats here. We really are doing this just to pad out our EXP, though. Early on, your characters, aside from Abrakan, your characters are pretty weak. If everyone had the same EXP as Abrakan, it would be fine. But, Abrakan's really the only one who currently is kind of where he should be, EXP-wise. If we want to go to Araman, that is. Bats and rats are fine, but there's quite a few enemies in the game, even early on, that can be quite dangerous. So, Alaron and Brenna gained a level. Again, I don't think that does anything for you except gives you an extra bonus HP. But we'll take it. Hopefully this isn't trapped. 50 gold. Now, for a lot of battles in the game, the number of enemies in the battle is random. So that fight that we just did with a bunch of rats, it probably had like an RNG thing that limited the max number. Like the early fights we had in Oizen Forest were like very low number, but some battles are scripted to have a much higher range or potential range of enemies, such as, you know, 8 rats, 12 rats, or whatever. Wolves are the first enemy you'll fight that are of any real danger. Abrakan will eat them for breakfast, but your other characters will probably be in a bit of danger if they get too close. One wolf is fine, but if you run into a pack, we'll have to play a lot more intelligently. It is kind of neat, though, because the game wasn't afraid to give you Abrakan at a much higher EXP level, because why shouldn't he be? I think that's something that happened a lot more in older D&D, was this concept of very high-level characters spending time with very low-level characters, especially because traditionally in old D&D, you know, if your character died, that was it. Like, true, your party members could resurrect you if you had a high-level cleric, but in a vacuum, your characters in old D&D, if they died, they were gone for good. You had to re-roll a new character. That was the excitement. You were playing this single life, you know, character on an adventure. That's why the dungeons were multi-leveled, because every level that you went down deeper was a chance that you would die and lose your character and not get any of the treasure. It was much more focused on getting treasure. I mean, of course, this would depend on your DM, like the group that you played with. I'm not saying that every single player played this way, but just even the way the rulebook is written, you know, it seems much more treasure focused, much more dungeon focused than sort of the roleplay aspect that it has a lot of today. And oh, I was going somewhere with this. Oh, so you oftentimes would have high-level characters playing with low-level characters, as people would die and they'd have to re-roll their character, or you get somebody new to the group and, you know, their character was low-level. It was almost like playing Diablo or something, you know, where you just play your character at whatever level they are and you join the server. And that's sort of represented here by Abrakan being this really high-level character. He's an experienced knight of Guernia. There's no reason for him to be as strong as Alaron. I feel like a lot of games today, if they came out like this, Abrakan would just be as strong as everyone else. He would be balanced on par with everyone else, especially if this game came from Enix with the whole Final Fantasy thing. You know, in any Final Fantasy game, you'll get this captain of the guard on your team, and they'll be played up to be like this super stoic character, and then when you get into combat, they're just strong as anybody else. Like, there's nothing setting them apart. And I understand from a game balance standpoint, you don't really want characters with a large disparity of power, because that would be very difficult to balance the game around. But because Aidyn Chronicles focuses its gameplay a lot less around balance and more around that kind of D&D-esque, you're a party of adventurers going out and accomplishing something, and your skills are not necessarily linear. Like, For instance, if we spend all of Brenna's EXP on mechanic, she's going to be great at opening locks, but she's not going to be good in combat. And that kind of weird balancing act between, combat effectiveness, outside of combat effectiveness, and characters in general just having a disparity between their EXP makes it kind of fun. Because it fits the style. Like, we're leaning heavy on Aberkin right now, and we should be. If we were actually a squire going out adventuring with a magician's apprentice and what is essentially some girl from the courtyard who steals a couple things every now and then, none of us would be combat ready except for Aberkin. Aberkin would be the one leading the charge, protecting the group, beating back the rabid wolves with his sword and shield. And we would rightfully so be hiding right behind him, learning from his techniques and getting more powerful ourselves. Okay, now there's some boars over there. We do want to be careful around boars. I would put them at being slightly stronger than wolves, oddly. I think it's because it feels like their chance to hit is very high as compared to a wolf. Oh, but this is just a single boar. We're going to be fine. Nice. Bacon tonight, boys and ladies, girls, whatever. Let's crank that Brenna mechanic stat. What are our options? We could go back and train mechanic at the trainer instead, and that would have us spending more gold and less EXP. Is that worth it? There is one thing I will not be doing. There is a very easily usable exploit where you can buy herbs and gemstones to make curing potions, and then you can sell those curing potions right back to the shop at an enormous profit, and very quickly after a couple cycles of buying a bunch of things, making a bunch of potions, selling a bunch of potions, you'll basically have infinite gold. I'm not going to use that exploit. Any potions we make, we will be using, and we will not be selling back to the shops for infinite gold. I'm just imposing that rule on us now because it breaks the balance of the game's economy, which this game doesn't need any help with things being broken. Something that's kind of fun, and I said it already though, is that our combat is going to largely be, well, not largely, but is completely not randomized. It is all encountered from scripted walking monsters. Now some monsters will respawn over time, and some monsters you can trigger to spawn over time. Or not over time, but trigger by exiting and entering certain buildings or loading areas. We might take advantage of that a little bit to level up, because otherwise we're just fighting the same monsters over and over and over again anyway. But for the most part it's nice because we're coming through here, we're fighting all these things, and then later if we need to travel back through here, chances are there'll be much fewer enemies present. Which, again, leads to this sense of exploration and conquering. I know I'm rambling, and, well, we're just doing a random battle. There's not a lot to say anyway, but very few games give me this sense of going out and taking things, of, like, each enemy is uniquely placed. Each enemy has to spawn in, and well, it doesn't even spawn in, right? It's been programmed to be in a certain area, and it has a patrol path, and it patrols in that area, and you go out and find it. You kill it, and you take its EXP, and you get to spend it on these skills, and the skills are permanent things you get to have, and not all of them are necessarily combat related, and I really like it. It gives a sense of fun, of, as odd as it sounds, am I really going to say this? Am I going to say that Aidyn Chronicle, am I going to say the word Aidyn Chronicles and perfect in the same sentence? It gives a perfect blend of exploring, conquering, taking, and getting more powerful. And it's just strategic enough that you don't have to, you can't turn your brain off completely. But at the same time, it's not so deathly tactical that you are stressing out at every single move and panicking over every single monster you find. You just get to go out, find stuff, kill stuff, get more abilities, and go see the world. And there's this nifty little plot along with it. I think it blends these components really well together. Admittedly, the game plods very slowly. You have to be patient. You have to kind of accept the fact that the movement isn't smooth. It's not flashy. And things can be very confusing if you're not moving slow enough to kind of learn them. But once you learn them, they all make perfect sense. Oh well. I got turned around there and accidentally walked back the way we came, but we're on the correct path now. 2 rats. Barely worth our time. I'm not sure exactly where we're headed, to be honest. I just kind of picked a direction and went. This is another thing. I don't know if this is the time and place to discuss this, but I'm going to do it anyway. When you think about a game like Skyrim, I think what upset me the most is people were really excited for Skyrim, and I get it. Okay, like I don't want this to just be a bag on Skyrim comment. But when I played it, I was disappointed because there was really no reason in Skyrim to go out and adventure. There was no reason to just pick a direction and set off, because typically Skyrim is one of those games where you just want to move from area to area, soaking up all the quests, and then just following all the paths to the quest. Oh, Brandon picked a lock. Very nice. 2 healing potions and 1,000 gold. Not bad. But yeah, in Skyrim, I very quickly learned that it's not a game that rewards random exploration. It's a game that rewards following instructions. It's a game that says, hey, can you go onto the menu, click on a quest, and then just go from point A to point B a zillion times until the quest is done? And I found that to be really disappointing. I had hoped that Skyrim was going to be a truly open world where you could go out and like find rare treasure and find these strange creatures and kill them and get EXP, and instead Skyrim ended up being this thing where it was like, oh, all of the treasure is randomly generated, so it doesn't matter where you go. Also, you can gain EXP by manipulating the game mechanics and just standing around healing yourself for hours on end, so there's that too, and I just didn't like it. And that's fine. I know a lot of people like it, and I think a lot of the mods make it good. Definitely there are some really cool mods out there for Skyrim. But I was hoping for something more like this. I mean, to a point, everything in Aidyn Chronicles is hand-placed. Like, the treasure, some treasure is random, I'll give you that. In fact, a lot of the treasure can be random, but like, the 1,000 gold that we found there, I'm pretty sure that was handcrafted. Like, you're not just going to open a chest and randomly get 1,000 gold. I mean, you could, but typically the way Aidyn Chronicles works is you're guaranteed to get a certain item oftentimes when you open chests or when you win battles and stuff like that, but the number of that item can vary. So maybe you open a chest and you're guaranteed to get a healing potion, but it can be anywhere between 1 and 5. You're guaranteed to get gold, but it can be anywhere between, 10 and 100, that kind of stuff. So there is some randomness, and I have watched a speed run. I really need to get the name of the guy who does the speed runs on this game. I really like watching him. I'm just impressed every time I see any of his videos, because the tenacity he must have to speedrun Aidyn Chronicles is great. I love it. But anyway, so when he plays, he manipulates the RNG of a specific chest in Alaron, and he does that to get something called the Witch's Ring. I can't remember why he needs it, but like that is a small instance of RNG playing into the treasure. But a lot of the treasure in this game, in fact, I would say that the majority of like the named items in this game are acquired through finding them in very specific locations. And that, to me, is the perfect way to reward exploration. Like, why not scatter your world filled with lots of neat little things to have the players go out and find? It's kind of like an Easter egg hunt. And you can go through the game without finding any of them. It would be horrible if finding them was mandatory. But because it's not, because it's completely optional, it's just fun. Like, I don't know where we are right now. In fact, I should probably pull up the map. We are in between, well, almost right in the middle of Alaron, Talawak, and Gwernia. I don't know if this is a path. Oh, there's a path over there, I guess. Oh, we're slipping. But yeah, I don't know why this place exists. I'm hoping to find some treasure or some monsters or something. But it's exciting. It's fun. Even coming up here is just to see the view. I know there's a treasure chest to our left, but yeah. I don't know. It's good. Except stealth potions that we'll never use. We should probably just sell all those. Now, I thought I heard some walking around while we were near that waterfall. And my memory is telling me there's an ogre around here? Ogres are pretty scary early on. They're also hideous. Like, I don't mean just hideous like, oh, it's an ogre, it's hideous. Of course it's hideous. I mean, like, the ogres in this game are hideous. If any of you Ocarina of Time fans out there remember Impa and all her polygonal pointiness, the ogres are kind of like that. They tried to make them look fat, and they just end up looking very pointy. Huh. I'm not seeing where those footsteps were coming from, or rather, I'm not seeing any monsters. Is there treasure down there? No. Oh, of course we're gonna go behind the waterfall. There's always treasure behind the waterfall. Oh. Or above it, I suppose. It's a good thing Bren is able to pick these locks with her meager, What's her mechanic skill? Oops. Her meager mechanic skill of 1. So we're on top of the waterfall now. I'm gonna save, because I'm pretty sure there's an ogre around here. I don't know how suited we are to fighting one of those things. Also, I gotta say, the first time you play this game, you have literally no clue what the strength of any monster you'll encounter is probably the most fun. Because that's the most exciting. When you truly have no clue what you're doing and you don't know what to expect. you don't know if you can kill certain things. Oh yeah, here's the ogre. Okay, so let me think. Aberkin can easily handle his own against an ogre or two. The issue is, if he gets surrounded, he can get in a little bit of trouble. I gotta remember how to use items. Okay, we do have a couple curing and healing potions. Now, I don't want to use that. Okay. You gotta be careful with the buttons, because otherwise you might accidentally skip your turn. We only have 4 curing potions, but that should be enough. Yeah. Do have an Inferno flask. Well, we'll just do this the best we can. We'll try and sneak Aberkin in from the rear here and see if we can get a back attack. Okay, decent. Now this might be the first enemy that we fight that might force a reset. I should probably point out, if characters die in Aidyn Chronicles, and I mean die like once in any fashion, they die for good. They're just out of the game. No more character. Yeah, so we really don't want characters to die. Now, why is Brenna's HP so low? Maybe I was right. Maybe your stamina does drain over time, but Alaron's isn't low. Of course, Brenna's is low because she was using her mechanic skill to open up the chests. Okay. And Rita's was low because she was using her merchant skill. Of course. Well, that's frustrating. Because Brenna is now almost unusable in this fight. In fact, she probably is unusable. So for the first time ever, we're going to have Rita cast her spells here. Let's check to see what the costs on these are. Endurance is a spice, weakness is an herb. How much of both? I think we have plenty of both. Oh, we should have equipped those leather boots. We'll worry about that later. 48 herbs, so plenty of herbs. About half as much spices. Which one costs spice? Endurance. But that's okay because endurance shouldn't fail, whereas weakness might fail. Weakness, the enemies might resist it. We'll go ahead and open up with weakness. It looks like we can only hit 2 of them. That's fine, I suppose. Okay. So weakness successfully cast on that ogre, and again, what that does is it lowers their max HP by 8. It's not a lot. It's really not a lot. You can think of her as having done 16 HP to both those enemies. Or, not to both, but in combination, 16 HP. Brenna, I don't think we can have Brenna do anything useful here. Like, at all. So we're just gonna have her skip her turn. Alaron should be pretty useful in this fight. He should just be able to attack from a distance here over and over. We'll want to focus on this ogre since he's the one that Aberkin hit first. That is not good that we missed. We'll have Brenna sneak around here on the outside. I'm really leery to have Rita get close with 4 ogres around. So we're going to go ahead and cast Endurance, raise Aberkin's max HP by 8. Apparently she has enough to cast it on herself. The higher level of spell you have, usually the more people you can cast it on per cast. Okay, good. Getting another attack here, very good. Okay, we really need to kill one of these ogres as fast as possible, because I know it doesn't seem like they're doing much right now, but once they start surrounding Aberkin, he'll get in trouble. Luckily, they're so big, they have a lot of trouble walking around each other, and Oh shoot, I might have had it reversed. I think it's if you let the animation play out where they walk around, then it skips their turn. But if you skip their turn, then oftentimes they'll invisibly pass through enemies. So with the ogres, you want to let their turn play out. Apologies for that confusion. Anyway, we'll have Alaron snipe this one that's weaker. Nuts. I really don't want Rita in the fray here yet. Especially because her armor is not great. We'll go ahead and throw out... Oh, we can't throw out weakness on the other two. I mean, she should be able to take a single hit, maybe. I really don't want her getting into the combat right now. We're gonna have her do a wide circle around the right of them, and maybe she can sneak off a spell on the other two that don't have weakness cast on them. Okay, that ogre might be headed towards Rita, and that's fine. We've got one ogre down, that's really good. Oh no, oh no. I think that ogre is going after Rita. That's not what we want. Although it is useful, it does at least prevent Aberkin from getting surrounded. I mean, I don't know what that ogre off in the distance is doing. I don't know why he's just not really attacking anyone. He's just like surveying the scene. But yeah, if they want to chase Rita, we'll have Rita run away. And that will divert their attention from Aberkin. And what is that ogre doing? He's just standing up there. If he had joined the fight, we might have had more trouble. As it stands now, I don't think we're in any danger anymore. Not in the slightest. Aberkin can easily finish off... He's just up there chilling. Aberkin can easily finish off that ogre by himself. We'll have Alaron continue to throw spears. And the fight is pretty much won at this point. Oof. Yeah, that's really the reason that the ogres are so dangerous. When they land a hit, it hurts. You have to think Aberkin also has the highest defense, or protection, or whatever stat reduces damage taken, and he still took 24 damage. So, if he takes another hit, we'll throw down a curing potion on him. Otherwise, I think we'll be okay. That one just left. He just left. I don't know why. I don't know why he did that. He just stood there forever and then left. I didn't even see anything that said he fleed. It just seems like he just left for no reason. Well, okay. Certainly we're good now, though. We don't have anything to worry about. We could, for the lulz, send Brenna in for the backstab, but that would be cocky because if the ogre just turns around and aces her, that would be the end of Brenna. Ah, come on, Aberkin. Ooh, ooh. Little dangerous. I think we just play it safe and we just go ahead and use a curing potion. We could try and get out of this without using one, but I don't feel like redoing this battle. Curing potions are very good. Probably the best single target healing option you'll have in the game. Which is a little weird balance-wise, considering you can access them so early. But oh well. 3600 EXP, not bad. Everyone gained a level except Aberkin, not surprising. And about 1,000 gold. I like it. Seems good. Go ahead and harvest some gems here. Gems are truly outrageous. Okay. Brenna is too weak to pick the lock. That further supports the idea that when she's picking the locks and disarming the chests, she must be spending stamina. I really gotta remember that. We'll just save the game. And we'll camp. Regain some of that lost stamina. I don't know if we'll gain all of it. Now, it's a little confusing, but if you don't get that cinematic where he's like, pass the marshmallows, you'll immediately enter into a fight. And the reason for that being is, of course, the idea that you've camped somewhere dangerously and suddenly you're ambushed by monsters. Which is a little annoying. 1,000 gold and some boots of adamant. The boots are adamant, although what they are adamant about, we do not know. 2 protection for no loss of dexterity. Leather boots are 1 protection for no loss of dexterity. Probably going to give Brenna our boots of adamant, and we'll give Rita the leather boots to kind of shore up their weakness of defense. With Brenna possessing so much more armor now. What is her armor stat? Is there a way to check it? Or do we have to access a piece of her equipment? It's kind of silly. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to just check her stats. But okay, she's got 1 protection, 3 protection, 8 protection total. Which again, I think is chance to hit. So the enemy's chance to hit her is very low. If they hit her though, she's still taking full damage. Which isn't good. Go ahead and have her use a healing potion. Healing potions heal so little that they're very often not very useful in combat. Often in a combat, a single turn to heal a handful of HP is not worth it. So I don't feel too bad using them. But okay, we got some boots out of that. Found an ogre lair. I don't think there's anything else over here. So we could take the path. We've been up on that cliff, or we could go this way. The pathless path. I will choose to go on the pathless path. Unless this is the path we already passed the path. Oh, no, we definitely have not. Yeah, that's a minotaur. Minotaurs are just a normal thing in Aidyn Chronicles world. Is the world called Aidyn? Why is it called Aidyn Chronicles? I just realized I don't know. Nothing here says Aidyn. Oh, I totally forgot. There's also a calendar. I'm sure you already saw it. Calendar, as far as I know, has no effect on the game whatsoever. But every passing day does change the date. So there's that. Oh, that is a lot of minotaurs. If I had to describe it, I think minotaurs are a faster, more accurate, but less powerhouse kind of ogre. Regardless, we will probably want to throw out endurance on our team here. I think we can take them, but we're going to have to be careful. Especially with this many of them. If it was just 4, it would probably be fine, but the 6 has me a little nervous. I wish there was something more useful for Alaron to do, but I think he's just going to still just stand around and chuck spears at people. It's not useless, or what's the word I'm trying to say? It isn't completely useless. The Minotaurs seem to have split their attention. A couple of them are going after Rita, which is fine, to be honest. We'll have Rita, or not Rita, Brenna. A couple of them are going after Brenna. We'll have, ooh, that's not good. We'll have Brenna go ahead and just dance around them and lead them across the map. We'll kind of keep them just in her range so that she looks enticing to go after, so we'll keep her right here. Ooh, we get a walk around. Sometimes the melee combat, so normally I said when you're engaged in melee, your movement should be restricted. Sometimes it just doesn't for some reason. So we'll take advantage of that and go for a backstab. Okay, again, we're just going to keep Brenna here. We'll have Rita go in and throw down the endurance on Abrakan. So he'll gain 8 HP, offsetting a bit of the damage he took from the Minotaur already. Again, those Minotaurs are chasing after Brenna. This is probably the most useful thing we can have Brenna do at this stage of the game. We don't need to be so concerned that we should be casting weakness. I think we're fine. I think at this point we just let's have Rita engage in melee combat. Yeah, Brenna's still gonna give these guys the run around. Go in for the backstab. Oh, whoa, very nice. Big ol' 41. Abrakan caught that one's attention, but that's fine. Again, really, it's a lot of winning these combats against multiple enemies is all about positioning your party so that you're never engaging all 4 of them with one character all at once. I think Baldur's Gate ended up being a lot like that. It felt a lot more manipulative in Baldur's Gate, but in Aidyn Chronicles, because everything's take turn and you have plenty of time to move out your guys, it feels a little bit more chess-like, I guess. You know, the whole concept of getting the enemies to chase after Brenna kind of thing felt a lot more strategical and less manipulative. And there is the danger that if they ever catch up with Brenna, she's probably gonna die. Like, I guess we did give her quite a bit of defense, so she's got a decent chance to hopefully not get hit. We'll turn her around so that if that Minotaur does catch up with her, she won't get the backstab. Okay, good. She got another turn. Sometimes it's hard to tell if they'll get a second turn or not. But yeah, ultimately, you just want to slow down the fight. If there are multiple enemies and you can't just overrun them like the rats, it's usually best to split them off and then let Abrakan do the heavy lifting. If you didn't take Abrakan, I think that would be like hard mode. Like if you just took Godric and Rita and Brenna, I don't know how you do the beginning of the game. I think you have to, at that point, have Alaron be the fighter and very quickly give him, like, defensive equipment. Like, we would be giving him the Eden scale instead of Brenna. We probably would have given Brenna the javelin. And the whole weight of blocking damage would be solely on Alaron's shoulders, and that would be very difficult. Remember that fight we had with the ogre? That ogre almost killed Abrakan. If we hadn't healed him and he'd gotten another hit off, Abrakan probably would have died. And Alaron has even less HP. So, yeah, I was expecting that. Probably shouldn't have had Rita out in front. We'll go ahead and have Brandon jump in here. Oh, come on, Alaron. That was your time to shine. Oh, well. Okay. 3100 EXP. Not too shabby. That was a little tough. We got a little bruised after that. Probably want to save. I'm very lost. Oh. 20 gold. A bit like pocket change, really. That's fine. We'll take it. Oh, another chest. Another 20 gold. Fine, fine. Don't know why the Minotaurs were out in the forest guarding 40 gold, but okay. Ooh, a bat. Oh, this isn't even a fight, is it? You should just go home, rat. Oh my gosh, it's not dead. Really? It's not gonna run. Oh well. It is kind of interesting, though, that eventually Abraken's raw strength will fall off. You might be sitting here thinking, well, will the game ever pose a threat now that you have Abraken on your team? The answer is yes. Oh, we're back. Oh, we're in Oizen. We're the Oizen Forest? How did we get here? We didn't even get here the way we came last time. What? Huh. Okay. Because this is Oriana's hut. We did say that we were going to go talk to Oriana. Super interesting. Okay, Oriana. Alaron, is that you? What are you doing here? The door is open. What happened? Nothing. Why are you hiding? And you're shaking, too. Was it the goblins? No. He was just as rude, though. Who? Tell me what you mean. Stop shouting. I won't be shouted at, you hear me? Do you? There's a young man and a tower, isn't there? A tower? Where? In Araman? He was a sorcerer. That's what he was. Here? In the middle of the forest? Why? I don't know why. Incredible. A sorcerer. Right here in the forest. What kind of sorcerer? A sorcerer! A sorcerer with a staff! Who knows what kind? A young man and a legend. No, that's not... Everything's at odds and ends. Look, leaves all over, all my plates thrown down on the floor. I don't know where to begin. Let's have tea. That's what we'll do. I know there's some in the house somewhere. Look under those flowers. There, behind you. Don't be shy. It's all a mess. This is a mess. The ruins, Pome, and now these curses. Interesting. Pome, I believe, is a city that is not on the map, and that is because it is completely burned down. I don't really remember why. I just remember that Pome is completely burned down, and you can go find its ruins. I don't know why she would mention Pome. Other than... Okay, so the young wizard that she's talking about... Because this plot is so confusing, I'm just going to go out and say it. The young wizard she's talking about is, I believe, Shamsuk. You might be tempted to think it's Sheridan. I'm not sure how Sheridan fits into all this, because he mentioned being interested in Oriana, but I believe the wizard who messed with Oriana is Shamsuk. Shamsuk, if you remember, is the same wizard that cursed Neeson, who Rita is trying to find a cure for. I'm just curious as to why Oriana mentions Pome here. I don't understand the connection between Pome and Shamsuk. I don't think Oriana comes from Pome. Oh well. Carefully, the tea is in a wooden box. You do remember, don't you? Kicking the stools. He even shook his fist. He wants the secret, doesn't he? He's unaware, but he soon will know, and then... Then what? Have you found the tea? Forget the tea. Don't argue with me, young man. You're just a pup. Keep looking for that box. Small with a little brass hinge. It has a carving of a berry on the top. I think he was a sorcerer. He had the staff of necromancy. You know it? I saw it once with Gotzone. Wasn't Gotzone one of the Mirari we ran into? She has a picture of it in an old Mirari book. One day I turned a page and there it was. The staff. Then, nearby, the legend. What legend? Have you found the tea? No. Let's keep looking. There was something frightening in that picture. I told Gotzone. How is this? That staff must be from some unseemly force. It's definitely not a relic for the Mirari school. That's when Gotzone said there were no schools, that all is magic, and all is one, and all runs through the world without division. Yeah, interestingly, the 4 schools of magic, star, necromancy, naming, and elemental, they are not a Mirari construct. All Mirari are just like, whatever, man, we're just gonna cast all the magic we want. Even I remember that. Gotzone taught me that the humans are the ones who channel powers, splitting school from school and dividing all magic 4 ways. What ways? I'll tell you. First, the channel of earth and sky. That is the elemental school. It calls the magic for the dragons and Mirari and needs mana or it jumps the path. Yeah, even though the Mirari don't believe in schools, I would have to argue their magic is probably of the elemental variety. Next, so the humans say, there is another channel made by our sun and all the planets. That is the Cold Star channel of Jundar magic. Oh, okay, I did get that wrong. Jundar are the people of Ugarit. My bad. It needs mana, too. Third is the human charm, spelled out in naming, channeled in ceremony, and called up through identity. And last? Last is the school of the necromancers, sworn on that staff. They enchant the body past all endurance and channel it the dead. They must be shrewd to make a spell like that. Look under the table, will you? Now you may understand the nature of the staff he held, and how he looked, standing in the door, holding this dread power high above over all our heads. It looked so bright and beautiful. The others who were with him came in too, and began to search. And talking to himself, he started walking all around the house, looking here and there and this and that, and there were questions that he shouted out. He asked again and again. He said the danger was in the secret. He said that only the staff and secret could save the... He said, I should tell him what I knew. What do I know? Oh, he said I should tell him what I knew. What do I know? What else? And every word I said was like a fruit I watched him eat raw. And the room grew hot. And I felt a burning in the middle of my head. The light was coming from everything in the room. I wondered at that because it was so bright. And so I looked up at his eyes and... There! That's the box. Now give me that and we'll have some tea. Tell me his name. I don't remember. A little tea and then you'll go, before that door swings open again. Here. I'm not going anywhere. You must. You can't stay here. It's much too dangerous now. What about you? Let me bring you back to the castle. No. You're safer there. Why should you stay here all alone, waiting for things to get worse and worse? I can't go now. Someday when I'm older, I'll go back. I'll see what Grania has become, but not today. Meanwhile, you may be in danger here or there, or even on the road. I have a writing, here. Now take this scroll and study it well. You see, the words are for fire, written down like tiny flames. And this is strength, these heavy lines here. Say all the words together and out loud. You'll feel yourself get bigger and bigger. Do you understand? Come with me to Araman. Meet Salman. Look at me. This is where I stay. Here I belong. And you do well. But listen for a moment. If you were saved just now, then this was just good fortune. You can't rely on luck again and again. Someday the sorcerer may return, and you'll tell all you know. Don't shake your head. These things can happen. Maybe not today, but who knows when or how soon. Let me help. Take this scroll and don't worry so much. What can happen? Do you think I'll fall to pieces? I'll be fine. What could I have told him? Secrets? I don't know any. Everyone knows I don't remember things. Now take the scroll. Interesting. She says everyone knows I don't remember things. Now, I wonder if that means that she doesn't remember Alaron. Or maybe she's pushed it so far out of her head. I don't want to get, too deep into this, but, the whole concept of PTSD, right? Maybe she's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, and literally her subconscious has prevented her from remembering anything about when the village burned down and Alaron was left, well, for dead. Not that we can blame her. Her home was attacked by goblins. I'm sure there was plenty of chaos, and clearly they were in the middle of the naming ceremony, which means that Alaron would have had to have been very young. Good idea. There's a favor you might do for me there. Just tell me what it is. Gutstone and Zuri, the two Mirari you know. They're powerful magicians, and like sisters to me. No doubt they'll sense this small disturbance in my house, but I don't want them to worry. See to them and assure them that I am well. I will. I'll do it right away. Where can I find them? Where? Well, you go towards Araman and then, I think... Oh, it's no use. I can't remember anything. Honestly, sometimes I wish I'd fly up to the moon where nothing needs to be known, and... Oh, yes. Wait. It's written down. The letter. You have letters? Look. It's still here somewhere. I really have to tidy this place up, though. It's like a wind came through. Ah, here it is. Directions to Gotstone and Zuri. Oriana, please put this in a safe place and don't lose track of it. They know me so well. Let's see. Stone dwelling carved airily into the mountain. Oh, here we go. Walk towards Araman. Enter the city proudly with the south gate at your back. Go straight towards the obelisk of spirits. To one side you'll see a small wood. Can you blame us, dear sister, for trying to create a bit of the forest we love so much here in the great city? Take the coral path, it shines even in the moonlight. This will lead you to the front door. Please come right in. That's Zurine's touch. Gotstone will hit the roof if you waltz in unannounced. So please, my boy, be on your best behavior. I'll let them know you're well. Take the letter in case you forget anything. Here, slip it in your pocket. An awkward pause. Now go, before I think of anything else. Alright, so I guess Oriana is a bit forgetful of things, or perhaps she is suppressing them. Either or. Child, there is nothing else I can do for you now. I have to make some tea. Alright, so that's Oriana. Attacked by Shamsuk. Shamsuk asking for answers that Oriana can't remember. The bright light in her head must have been some kind of truth spell. So, perhaps even Shamsuk's magics can't pull out of Oriana what she's already forgotten. But at some level, I feel like Oriana still remembers that you're her child, based on the way she treats you. Perhaps she resisted the spell. I don't know. So Shamsuk is looking for something. The road is different here. I wonder if this was the best path to Araman. It probably wasn't. I don't even know what paths lead to Araman. The path is fine. The path is fine. Besides, you can't become a knight by staying at home in Guernia. There's something unusual about this place. Retorb. Alright. Again, this is something you've probably already figured out if you've played the game. But you need to read everything this guy says backwards. So, he said, brother, I watch, I wait. I saw you before, in Oizen. Join. Are you a spirit for bad or a spirit for good? Answer me. Wait! Spirit? Do you see him, Abrakan? No, he disappeared like a phantom. What was it, Rita? Not any kind of spell that I know. Then he's not an enchantment? I don't think so. He may not be human, but he's real. I don't like it. Let's get out of here. Alright, Brenna. It's not alright! He looked like a ghost! We should get to the village. It isn't safe out here in the woods. Let's keep going. Alright. Well, I think I'm going to take a pause there. We've actually made quite a bit of progress. How far are we in the hours department? 5 hours in, we finally left the castle, gained a bit of EXP. We'll want to swing back around to Guernia again. probably backtrack and see if we missed anything. We'll want to boost Brenna's mechanic skill and then open up all those chests we were running into that we couldn't find. Or that we couldn't open. So yeah, it's probably what we'll do. Taking a pause, I'll be right back.